Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 11. I have my boy Arthur George. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Good. How you doing, John?
I'm good. I'm good. So, this is my first time meeting you in person. So, I want to say thank you for coming onto the podcast. It's actually an honor for you to come through. At the same time, too, looking at your accolades, I see that you, even at your age, mind you guys, he's 21 years old. This guy literally athlete in like basketball, I think swimming,
Yes.
soccer, track and field. He graduated in Seton Hall, right? You graduated in
Yes.
2022.
2022.
So this year, you just graduated this year in
New
biology.
biology major.
That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. And you're also like currently working, right? Where do you work in a lab, right?
Yes. Currently working at Reliance Diagnostics. It's in Fairfield, New Jersey.
Fairfield.
So
Nice,
I've been
nice.
working there for about 2 years now. Well, this summer actually makes 2 years.
2 years, nice.
And then
nice.
before
Congrats.
that, I worked for about 2 years in Newton Hospital
Oh, nice.
as a patient transporter.
Nice.
So I did that my freshman year in college, sophomore year in college, and then stopped during COVID because I was working part time and they switched to full time only, so
Right.
they had cut all the part time.
Damn, dude, that is crazy. Holy. So I guess for me to say this too, because you've been like working constantly, right? Which is like I noticed, like 'cause, again, based off like the accolades you had in your past experiences, doing sports, and then you're also like graduating from Seton Hall, working like from a lab and even in a hospital. By the way, how far is the commute? Just random question. Like the current job.
Current job,
Yeah,
about 40-minute commute.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Where do you live? You live in Newton?
Live in Sparta, so right by
Sparta.
Newton, like
Got
10
you.
minutes
Okay,
from
okay.
Newton.
10 minutes from Newton. Got you. So, like, the commute as well. You always have to think about, like, the littlest things.
Yeah.
And then you always try to process, like, how in the world am I doing this? You know what I mean? But for some reason, you just would love to do it, though. Like, you're just, like, nonstop. I've noticed that, I guess, based off what you're telling me about what you do and stuff. So tell me more about, like, how it is for you with work ethic. You know what I mean? Because just based off, like, what I'm seeing, I think you've just been constantly going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So my work ethic
Mm-hmm.
comes from mostly my family, but my parents in general, because my
Gotcha.
family is
Genetics.
immigrant family.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad and all his siblings,
Yeah.
born in Haiti, grew up in Haiti,
Mm-hmm.
came to the States at around like 22 years old.
2022. So probably like around. I'm taking a guess here because it was in like 1980s, 1990s that they arrived in
Yeah,
the United
like
States.
1990s.
Got you.
And they had come here, and then they basically have to redo school because it doesn't really transfer over.
Got you.
So basically, they start high school level again. Well,
Right,
they have their high school degree, but they have to redo the college.
Got you.
experience.
College experience, right? Because it's in a different country. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So you have to start from scratch. So when we talk about your dad, like what does he do? Like
My
currently,
dad,
yeah.
he's a registered nurse in the emergency room over at Newton.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. My dad, he just retired. He is an ER nurse as well.
Really?
Yeah, but he actually, you're going to be just shocked of where they are working at. Even my mom currently, they work in Jamaica, Queens.
Oh, wow.
So think about the commute from here to New York.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For 15 years, man.
Drive or they take public transportation?
They drive.
Okay.
Yeah, so wake up 5:30, leave at like, well, no, I won't say 5:30, 5 o'clock actually, leave at like 5:45 to get to like, I believe their shift starts at like 7 a.m.
Wow.
And then end at 7 p.m., come home at like
Come
9
home
or
and
10.
redo it.
Yeah. Luckily, it's like it's like the typical 3-day,
3-day job.
12-hour shifts. But hey, respect to your dad though, because especially around COVID, I know the ER was probably ridiculous.
Yeah,
dude.
around
Like,
COVID, I like never saw my dad.
Yeah, dude.
He works a lot of overnight, and he comes home at around 8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock.
Sleeps from 8 to 12.
Jeez.
Gets up, gets ready, eats, does whatever he needs to do, and then back at work at 2.
I'm back at work at 2. God,
And then same thing, come back in the morning.
respect to him. And also a big thank you too for helping, just everyone, saving people's lives, you know what I mean? So going to it then, I guess you said your dad was one of the main sources of how you got that type of like work ethic motivation, shall we
Yeah.
say? So tell me more, like how did you were it kind of like rooted from your dad? Like was it because of like he was pushing you to like try hard, or was it just like a genetic thing? I know it's a deep.
It's like
It's a tough question. It's a really tough
but
question.
nah, it's like, well, we've always. When I say we, I mean my siblings and I, and then my cousins, because my cousins are very close. Like we see each other every week.
Right.
So our parents have always instilled in us when we were young that like don't be like everybody else. Don't just copy someone because everyone else is doing it right. Stand out. Be different.
I like that.
Right?
I like that.
And you know, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, but like these are my friends. Like I just want to like do things with them, be like them, right?
Yeah.
And it's not really till you get older. Like for me, it wasn't really till I guess senior year in high school that I grew into my own person and kind of looked past that and actually saw what my parents were talking about. Because you know they were always pushing me, elementary school, middle school, high school, to you know perfect your grades. Like I remember, like I would get my Xbox taken all the time.
Oh,
you know.
Oh, so it's like that. So basically, they're like, you know what I mean, like strict, but they do it for good reasons.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
good intentions. They
And
want
they
you.
want you to be able to do everything, be good at everything.
I love that.
So
I love
push
that.
you to do good in school, push you to take some activities. They even at early ages they kind of push you to do something in music, like pick your instrument that you want to play.
Yeah.
All of us kind of fell out of music,
Right.
sadly, but the motivation and the determination kind of just shifted into a different direction, right? It went to school.
And went to
like,
school. Gotcha.
Middle school, high school. I remember I was kind of just doing the work to get by. Like BAC didn't really matter to me as long as I kept going, right? And then it really wasn't until I graduated high school, and you know I look back and I was like, wow, like I had a lot of fun and I didn't really try my hardest. So like, so imagine if I do try my hardest in college now, like what the outcome will be. So that's basically what I started to do going into college. Like I really had a zone in focus mindset.
Holy Lord, bro, that's impressive.
Right? And that's, I guess it's with maturity as you get older.
Yeah.
I really started to see and understand like how hard my parents worked to get where they're at and how hard they're still working. Right? And you know, they always tell me, you know, I work, like for instance, my dad.
Yeah.
You know, he always tells me like, oh, I came from this country and I had to build up from nothing, and I do all this so that you don't have to do that.
My parents say the same thing. Right? Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like, first of all, you are ahead of your time already, because I didn't even get to realize that till like the age of like 22. 23. 18 at the time when I graduated high school. I didn't even have that mindset. I was just trying to have fun, you know what I mean? But you're one of the few, the rare ones that kind of just, you already like had a vision right after you graduated high school, and not many like kids at that age at that time didn't really think about that. There were a few though. But not many. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and what I think did it for me is that I think I just had all my fun when I was younger in high school and middle school. That's where I really had all my fun, and that's where I had that realization where I was like, especially when I first saw the college bill come in, I was like, ooh, okay. I said that's a lot of money. I guess I really got to get focused.
Yeah. You know? Did you? I'm assuming like your parents helped out at least, or you had to do it on your own?
Oh no, they definitely helped out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But they've always been a big help, and they continue to be. And
I love that.
One person in particular really did help me a lot. Not only starting in college,
right,
but all through college. I had a girl at the time, and I would see like how hard she worked, how dedicated she worked, and I was like, "Oh, I got to keep up with that."
Oh, oh, yeah, right. Dude, that's what I'm saying. When you have, I always say there's gonna be somebody like in your life, whether it could be, you know, a friend, you know, a girl that you like, or parents. Somebody will trigger you to like strive at your greatest.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I guess with the girl, it's like a friendly, I don't want to say, is it friendly rivalry, shall we say? You want to be better grades at each other? Or it was just more like an inspiration, probably?
I'd say both, because it was funny. Like,
yeah,
like every semester we would be like, oh, what was your GPA this semester? And then it'd be like
3.5
right. I beat her the first 2 years.
Oof, she must be tight.
But then the last 2 years, she blew me out the water.
Oh my god! But that's the cool part about it, though, because you guys are like beating each other, but at the same time, too, you're trying to improve each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you both realize that when you like looked at each other, like, you know what? I'm actually glad with this competition.
Yeah, we were a big help to each other.
Yeah, no,
she was a big help in my life.
That is awesome, though. That is awesome. Wait, how did you meet her in school?
Yeah, I met her in high school. I met her through a friend towards the end of senior year.
Gotcha.
And then we had went to prom together and started dating.
Oh, that's nice.
And everything like that.
Gotcha. Are you guys still like together or not anymore?
This year we were on and off.
Oh, gotcha.
And then right now it's kind of like a closed chapter.
From
this summer. Last time I saw her recently, but that was like when we kind of closed
a chapter. That's tough though. That's tough. But at the same time too, like if it has to be a good reason for a closed chapter, again, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But it's part of the life. You know, it's part of it. Things might like not pan out. You know, but at the same time too, it's one of those things where it's like maybe it has to be for the better for both of you. You know, I don't know the reason. We're not going to go into that, but at the same time too, it's like more so. Like there's always reasons for it to end that way, and you never know like later down the road.
Very true.
Because you'll never forget what she did, which is basically
I know she helped me a lot.
She helped you a lot, and she probably will feel the same way. You know what I mean? So then going to it, then does that distract you from, focus, mental? Like how do you handle that? You know what I mean? Like
does what distract me?
Like when it ended, right? You know how you probably the reaction is you were probably sad. Were you sad?
Most definitely.
Oh, most definitely, right? Now, I say this because emotions can also take part in affecting like your focus and drive. You know, some probably can handle it and still maintain it throughout their life, or not throughout their life, but throughout until they feel like they're back to normal. You know what I mean? Because emotions, it's hard to control, and then there's some people that it hindered them so much that it got them off course. You know what I mean? So my question to you is, how do you handle after that when you're sad as heck? Like, are you that type of person to still keep going?
I'm the type of person where
even after all
I feel like I need time, right? Like I remember we were on and off this last year, right? So I remember the first off, I was like, for maybe like 2-3 weeks, I kind of just stopped doing everything, right? And it was kind of just sulking in myself.
In yourself, right? Yep.
And then, I kind of look around and I'm like, all right, I'm in the same position, but it's been like 2 weeks. And I was like, time is still going by. So I need to start getting back to doing what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So, and then someone close to me said that, use those feelings as fuel to push you further. So that's what I started doing. Basically, just started focusing more on my work, and then also doing things more for me. Like I started taking the gym a lot. Like I always went to the gym, but I kind of was like, I went to the gym casually, right? You just go in there, pick up some things here and there, walk out, right? But then I met someone at the gym that helped me a lot too, and he actually taught me like how to work out. Yeah, like the proper forming. Like start off at light reps until you feel like you have the correct form, and go heavier. Aesthetics, or what's it called? They do like the start, like don't do it fast, like slow down, pause, and contract. Like yep. So he's like my workout buddy now. We've been working out for the past year.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I remember I've basically been working out since senior year in high school, right? I was the same weight from senior year in high school to the start of senior year in college. I was the same weight, 140.
Golly.
Right? I started working out with him in September of 2021. And then by December of 2021, I was 160.
Hey, that's 160 of pure muscle though.
Yeah,
you're pretty jacked, dude. I'll be honest with you, you're pretty jacked, bro. 160. I was like in my head like, oh man, these guys probably like like 165, 170,
Yeah,
160 though. But
goals 170.
well, goals one.
But
You're getting there though. You're getting there. I'm at one. How I started though, because I had a high metabolism, so it was so hard for me to gain weight.
yeah,
So I had to sacrifice a lot of like not like a lot of things, but I had to sacrifice like anything involving cardio, like basketball.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love basketball.
Love basketball. Too.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of like what's it called? I do a lot of like sports activities. Whether it's like I don't know, I don't really run, but I do like I don't mind playing like casual football.
Yeah.
Or
I
whatever.
like the occasional walk.
Or the occasional
I try to
walk.
get my steps in.
Yeah, I try to get the steps in. I got my Apple
Your
Watch.
Apple Watch. Yeah, I always check it on my phone. I always try to get like
Yeah,
2 to 3 miles a day.
2 to 3 miles, and then you beat your activity circle, and you're
Yeah.
just like, yes, I'm successful. But I was at how I started at the gym in 2014. I was 105, 110, and then now I finally I was actually at almost at 150. But then I realized because I'm short and like I just don't want to look like a ball at that point, so I lowered
down
to 140, which I think is like I think personally my
happy
proper
medium.
weight. Yeah,
Good.
it's like the happy medium for me. So right now I'm like where you were at, like where you're doing these casual workouts, because I did like a lot of programs. Like I was doing my boy gave me like the Arnold Blueprint, which is like one of those programs from Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And like that thing was crazy. Like, well, at the same time too, I was aiming to what's it called? Do lean bulk.
Yeah.
So I was like doing
That's what I aimed to
tiny,
do too.
tiny bits, like little bits of carbs, but only little, and then protein, vegetable, meal prep.
I'm not a big carb person. Like,
Dude, that's awesome.
the only carb I'd say I eat is rice.
Rice.
'Cause I'm in love with rice.
I love rice, man. I love. Oh my god, it's so hard to get away from it. Like personally for me, because I just had rice last night. I had rice literally this morning.
I'm gonna have it later.
You probably will have it later. You know what I mean? But it's so hard to get away from. Well, at least you have the discipline to not eat like too much carbs. You know what I mean? Like the only time you eat carbs is when you feel like you need the energy. You know what I mean?
Even. Like, I'd say, I don't know. I'm a big meat eater. So, like,
Steak
most
Oh, yeah,
definitely.
dude.
And I'm lucky because a lot of things that I don't like are like the more high calorie things. Like I don't like chocolate. I don't like peanut butter.
Oh yeah.
And I don't like bread.
And you don't like bread? Wow,
Yeah.
I love all three of those. I love all three of those. I don't like candy. I mean, I don't mind
I don't like
candy.
candy
I'm not big
either.
with candy, but I don't know why. But I'm not a sweet tooth guy, so I
Same.
can.
I'm a salt tooth.
Me too. I'm more salt tooth. Like I'd rather have one slice of like cheesecake and that's it.
I don't even like cheesecake.
You don't even like cheesecake?
Nah.
Oh man, you're really not into that stuff. Okay.
I eat.
Feel you.
The only thing I like. I recently discovered that I like carrot cake.
Carrot cake, really?
Yeah.
I'm not big with carrot cake.
And then the only thing I like besides that is vanilla ice cream cake. That's
Okay,
it.
I can roll with that. I can roll with vanilla, but I can't do much. I can only do half, and that's it for me.
Half?
Like dessert, that's it.
Yeah, I'm not a big dessert guy.
I respect that. There's a few people I know that are not dessert peeps.
I don't even know how I'm like that because both my siblings, my younger brother and my younger sister, love sweets, candy, ice cream, chocolate,
Good
anything.
golly. Good.
And then I'm just the complete opposite.
And just the complete opposite. Maybe it's probably, I don't know if your mom or your dad, do they like more salty?
My mom is more sweet. My dad more salty. He's more of a chips guy like me. Like for me, that was the only thing I had to actively cut out was chips.
Was chips, yeah.
Like even a family sized bag of chips, I will just keep eating it.
And you just keep eating it?
Yeah, until it's empty.
Good lord. What's your favorite chips that you eat?
My recent favorite are I think they're barbecue or smoked Ruffles.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
whichever
those are pretty good.
one with Jason Tatum on top.
Oh,
That's
it's
the
probably
one
the Ruffles one.
Yeah.
I don't know which one Jason Tatum's in, but if it's the Ruffles one, they're pretty good.
I know Ruffles is fire.
Yeah, I can tell you my favorite is you're probably gonna laugh at me. Actually, you might like it. I don't know, depending on how the tolerance is for you. But I always like jalapeno kettle chips. Yeah.
Oh, I do love those too.
Those are so good, and it has like a kick. Like I always love the flavor.
I'm a big spice guy.
You too? Yo, same. I mean, like, depending on the level of spice, like, if it's so spicy that I can't do it. But
Really?
I don't mind it. But then I feel like it would ruin, depending on the spice level, how crazy it is. Like, again, everyone's palates are different. So you probably have a very higher tolerance than I do. But if the higher the spice is, the more it's just like, damn it, like, maybe I'm not enjoying this. Maybe I'm suffering, you know what I mean? But I love spicy food.
I put myself to the test one time. I went to, me and my friends went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I did the Blazing Wings challenge.
Is that that nuclear one?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So, the first two were fine, and then it starts to kick in, and then you're like, oh, I have to eat the rest of these. So I'm just for the credit, I eat the rest of them, and then I'm literally drinking water the rest of the night.
God,
like my mouth was on fire.
Damn, bro, what the fuck? And you ate all of it?
Yes.
Did you win a prize? Like, don't you win something if you?
I think it's just free food.
Free food.
Like your meal's just free.
Like, congratulations, it's free while you're suffering.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And I was even eating the celery because it was cold, so I was
to counter. Yeah. Honestly, I think the ranch blue cheese helps.
Yeah,
because
I think it does.
Yeah,
but I don't like eating my wings with dip.
No. I think for the celery. I don't mind the dipping with the ranch or blue cheese on the wings, but I prefer with celery.
Yeah, I prefer it with celery. I prefer the wings with just the sauce.
Yeah, because you already have flavor on it.
Yeah.
So why even dip it with another batch of flavor to counter the beauty of it?
Is the blue cheese to take away some of the spice? I always wondered why people dip their wings. Was it to make it less spicy?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to look it up like right after this podcast, bro. I mean, like, we're probably gonna go to the spot that I was telling you about later on. True. Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, we'll see. We'll find out where we're gonna plan. But anyway, so we sidetracked it completely on. Sorry about that, folks. But anyways, so we were talking about motivation, right? So we were talking about, I think. Where were we on? We were like talking about.
You were asking me. So I was saying that
refresh
it takes me like a little while to kind of recoup myself. Normally, when those situations happened.
Right, because you were dating somebody that literally was an important person in your life. So that obviously emotionally plays a big factor on how it affects you, like moving forward. You know what I mean? So for you, luckily, you were able to realize it after those 2-3 weeks. Like, wow, I've literally wasted my time for 2-3 weeks, which is fine though, because you're letting your emotions kind of just let it all out. Let it, like, everything sink, hit reality, and then realize I got to get back on my game. You know what I mean? Because it's hard for people. Some people won't realize it, and they're just mentally forever. Like, I don't want to say mentally forever, but it takes them longer.
Yeah, it sends them back.
Yeah, it sends them back. I for me, the first time when I fell for somebody, it took longer for me, I think, because it was like the first time I ever like caught feelings for someone. It took 3 months, 4 months, I think. But once I finally, that's how I first got to the gym. Yeah. Is once I started working out and started like focusing on myself. And I remember I looked at myself in the mirror and I realized, like, I have wasted my time. Just like, I should have been focusing on like doing what I got to do. You know what I mean?
That was like me when I opened the book, and I was
when you open the book, right?
Do not know any of this.
Yeah, like, but that's like the learning curve. You know what I mean? And it's nice to, like, you know, at least you're able to share that with me, which is great, because I was also in that same position as well back then. You know, and it'll again, life is gonna continue like hitting us with different things, different obstacles, and the question is, how do we handle that? Right. You know what I mean? So that's why I went to you about like the motivation. How do you handle those kind of situations, even when you're trying to keep that consistency going? Because sometimes emotions, they will hit you.
Yeah, they take a toll.
They take a toll, and then sometimes you're off your game. There's times where, like, you know, when I try doing my work, and then I'll just be like, damn, like, I just don't feel like I'm there right now. Yeah. Even though when I'm doing it, because I know I love doing it, but then it's just like, like, what the heck? Like, why do I still feel? But it's normal because it's feelings. You know what I mean? Like, you have a heart, you have an emotions, especially for important people in your life, because they took you there. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I've learned. I always feel like, as much as like it sucked at the end, especially if it's a person that you care about the most, you always like
care about
you still care. Yeah, you still care. You know what I mean? And at the same time too, it takes you to like another level. You know what I mean? Because it's more so like I learned from this. She literally guided me to this particular point. Now it's time to move on, but I was able to get there if it wasn't for her.
Right. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, it's more of like a thank you. That's what I always do. Like any situation I've been through, once I overcome it, it's more like thank you for getting me through, like for taking me through this direction. You know what I mean? Because now that I learned from it, I can just take the next step in my life. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be ongoing till death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
We're always learning. That's the thing. We're always learning.
Yeah, we're always learning, and especially for your age, dude. Like, not many people will realize that till later on. You're one of the people that kind of already knew way ahead of time, bro. It's crazy, man.
I guess I'm a thinker. I don't know why. Well, yeah, I don't know why. I think internally a lot about a lot of things. And I don't know if you've ever heard like the saying. I don't know if it's true or not, but when they say like only geniuses talk to themselves.
I talk to myself so much,
right?
Dude.
I don't talk to myself, but my dad talks to himself a lot.
Oh, he does?
And
we'll get along.
I think that man is a genius.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Because like when you talk to yourself, like you start to like create ideas. That's from my experience. Because
that's him. He's always looking to expand.
Yeah, he's always looking to expand, right? So like when you see your dad just talking to himself, that's because he's trying to like speak out of what he's envisioning. You know what I mean? Because those envisions can become a reality, but it depends on how he takes action on it. So he has the vision. Now it's more so like, how do I utilize it in real time?
Yeah,
which I'm pretty sure he does it. Like he does, and that's
he does it. And that's one thing I get two things from him. I get that from him, but another thing he does is that he takes a while to actually put his foot in there. So I do that too, where he will just constantly review and study, and then finally he'll be like, okay, now I'll try it. Like he tries to know every little thing before he actually puts his effort towards it.
For perfection, I was inspired by Jordan and also Kobe, because both of them have that perfection to be the best that they can be.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though like
look at every wrong and see how you can make it a right.
Yeah, because you take mistakes, some people will take it personally, and they will like be sensitive, and there's some that takes that as a critique, and they work themselves to become the best version, like taking weaknesses to become like their strengths. You know what I mean? And that, to me, that's one of the, I think for you, that's probably like, because I think you did tell me like Kobe was your favorite player, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Childhood idol,
and rest in peace to that man.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, but he had like a work ethic. It's so
never seen.
Crazy. It honestly might be crazier than Jordan, to be honest. Even though Jordan,
if everyone had that work ethic, imagine where the world would be.
Oh my God, it's already going to be, it's already ahead of its time now, but it's going to be 20, 30 years away ahead of its time, because the mindset is clicking every day. Like it clicks every day.
That's something that I see in him and in my dad and my mom as well. That's just something that I try to emulate. Right?
You know what? Because we were talking about Kobe, and we are talking about motivation and work ethic, right? I remember watching a video, and actually one of his inspirations was Bruce Lee.
Yes, I do remember that.
And
he came out with the Kobe 6 Bruce Lee version. Yes,
and what's funny, because he also did Jeet Kune Do, for like, I think a little bit like
who Kobe did.
Kobe did, yeah. Because it was one of those things for like, I guess, for meditation. But the reason why I think he did it, I have the book too. It's called Be Water, My Friend. I actually mentioned it in my audio podcast about that book, because that book really helped me like how to go by my day every day. And Kobe, it makes sense why Kobe like utilized him as an inspiration, because Bruce, this was like in the 60s, and Bruce died in 1972. He died at age like 32.
He died young, right?
Yeah, because I think it was like some overflow edema, because he was taking like medication for his back.
Oh, okay.
And I think whatever the medication he took, I think it busted up the edema in his brain and blew up or whatever. So that's how he died. But Bruce he had one of these things where be water, my friend, is like an obstacle. So he wants us to be water because water can go through everything.
Yeah.
You can have a house, and somehow water will just leak right
through anywhere.
Yeah. So he wants us to be that, because if water can leak through anything, we can leak through anything in life. Problems.
So I wonder, could you say that that's a metaphor?
Yes.
For being able to adapt to anything?
Yes.
Because water just takes the form of whatever it's passing through.
Yes. It takes the shape or form of anything.
Yeah.
And that's why he correlates it to us humans as we can be anything if we make attempts. Mm-hmm. And also, this is where I think Kobe emulated from Bruce, was how to take things like every day. So I think Kobe meditates. I think he meditates like every morning. Mm-hmm. And then obviously he does his gym routines. Like I think he would wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. But he does, like, there's times where he does his meditation because it keeps him focused. And at the same time too, it allows his mind to be straight. He'll take a couple of 15-minute naps, and then that was like going back to the gym on the afternoon, basketball practice, and then game time, and then starts over. But how is he doing it? I think it was because the fact, like, every day was going to be a different day.
Yeah.
So what he got from Bruce was that when you wake up, you clear everything out of your mind from the past. Even if you won a championship the day before, you take that out of
start from scratch.
Start from scratch. And so Bruce, I think in the book, again, her daughter wrote the book, but she's translated to what her father was trying to explain.
Okay.
So you I think you try to fill your cup of tea with knowledge, but he's telling you don't overflow.
Okay.
So if you overflow with knowledge, your brain's gonna go haywire. So how do I, like, continue to keep that flow of tea? So you keep the flow of tea, so that's your present day. And then once you get that knowledge, you drink your tea and empty your cup, and then refill. So you clear out your it's a lot. It's like a very deep.
Is it a kind of like a self-help book, you'd say?
It is a self-help book, yeah. It's a way to keep your day going. Like, you don't think, like, when you wake up, like when I wake up in the morning, I won't think about what happened yesterday. I think about what I got to do today, because whatever happens today is going to build for the future. And I don't even know what the future is going to be, because the future, like, we have goals. You know what I mean? Like, you have, like, goals that you have for your future, but sometimes as time progresses, you're going to add random goals that you just realized. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. But you'll still end up achieving those goals that you had initially. But you're adding more goals that you just achieved because you did things that you were.
And you always got to reanalyze and take priority, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like how we were talking about obstacles before. Yeah. Right? Life is always going to throw obstacles at you. You just have to see how you accept the challenge,
and how do you adapt to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why, like, Kobe, Jordan, and even Bruce Lee himself, but they all have, like, a specific mindset where, like, I'm going to focus and make sure they even know that emotions are going to get the best out of them, because it's emotions. You know, we all have, like, feelings, and it's going to deteriorate, but it'll distract us from those. Yeah. But it keeps we have to keep going. You know what I mean? Like, YOLO, you only live once. But it's true. You only live once. You gotta, you can't
be wasting your time.
Yeah, you can't waste not even a minute, not even a second.
Right.
Like, where we are right now, just us two right now, like, this is not a waste of time. This is, like,
of course.
Yeah.
This is precious.
It's precious, you know what I mean? But I'm loving it because I love doing this, you know. I love to, like, do podcasts. B, I know you love to, like, you know, socialize and meet people and get to know people, you know. I know you're a people person too. And also too, like, because I know, because we were talking about this earlier, I know, like, a motto for you, like, your purpose in life. Like, for me, like, my purpose in life was to help others. Yeah. You know, is that, like, I think you were telling me, like, that was your purpose in life when you were.
Yeah, I'd say that's a purpose in my life, and that's probably why I chose the medical field. Because I've always been a very caring person. I care a lot about people, especially people that are close to me. Honestly, I don't really know when that started. I think it probably is because I'm the oldest sibling. So I've always been taking care of my siblings since I said 4th, 5th grade, right? because both my parents work all day jobs and my dad works overnight.
Yeah.
So I would get home from school, get the kids from the bus or their school, cook food for the kids, take them out if they needed to, right? Go bowling, go to the movies or whatever, right? So I kind of filled that little parent void,
role.
I guess, right?
Yeah, that parent role.
And I guess that's where a lot of my maturity comes from too, where I feel like I've always been the person in charge.
Yes.
So I've always had to think like the person in charge.
Yes. So that's why. Because, that actually, that helps out a lot for you too. Like with obviously all the other stuff that got you that motivation, work ethic, that also becomes a big part for you. You know what I mean? Because you get the experience of, okay, like I don't know if you ever want kids.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Okay.
I want 3.
You want 3? I want 2. Max at 2. I actually had a topic about like kids or no kids. My boy, he said he doesn't want to have kids, but he gave me good, like solidified reason why he doesn't want kids. You know what I mean? But I know for me, like it's if I ended up with a family at some point in the future, which we don't know, I wouldn't mind having 2 kids or 1 kid, but I can't do 3. I mean I would try 3, but I know I'm just gonna be like.
I've had names picked out for my kids since I was in high school.
What the fuck? Really?
Yep.
Do you mind? It's up to you if you want to tell me the names.
They all have a theme. Double Y.
Double Y.
So there's Sky with 2 Ys.
2 Ys.
Zane with 2 Ys.
Okay.
And Jaden with 2 Ys. Okay. Instead of like DEN, DYYN.
Oh.
So they all have double Y.
What? Why the double Y though? Just out of curiosity.
Just to be different.
Okay,
I like being different. I like being extra.
I feel you on that. The Sky one. I know. Sorry to interrupt. The Sky actually, I've heard that name because of Tipsy Bartender. If you
because of a tipsy bartender?
No. Like the guy on YouTube, his name is he's known as Tipsy Bartender.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, his name is Sky John.
With 2 Ys?
Like 2 Ys, I think.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like SKYY and then John, I think is his last name. But I just, that's how I like popped into my head, like Sky. I'm like, wow, I actually know there's a person that's, actually he's pretty popular now because he makes like billions of drinks, like creative drinks, and even people that send him like ingredients, he'll make them like on Facebook or YouTube or whatever he does. I know he has like 1 million subscribers already, but that's how I remember that name, bro. So that's cool though, double Y.
That's the name I want for my daughter. Cause
Sky.
I want, like, more than anything, I want a daughter. Just because my sister is the youngest. She's about to turn 12, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I raised my sister myself.
Oh, okay, I see.
I was 10 when she was born, and then she's literally been like my best friend ever since, even to this day.
Dude,
she doesn't even hang out in her room. She will get her stuff from her room and then come to my room and hang out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I'll come home and I'll be like, what happened? Like, why aren't you in your room? She's like, oh, I was just in here.
Oh, that's dope though. That's an awesome relationship. You know what I mean?
Right. That's why I want a daughter so bad. I want to have my own.
Yeah. Oh, here's the question. I mean, because are you gonna be an overprotective father? Actually, that's to be determined. Because
I know I am.
After all the talking we just talked about.
I'm gonna be overprotective of my sister too. I already know it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's probably happening right now. Like you know what I mean. By the time like she's probably in her teen. Well, I don't know.
She's just starting 6th grade.
6th grade. Okay.
We just went to orientation 2 days ago.
Oh, wait till high school, bro. Oh my God, you're gonna be like, who is this? Is he good? How's his grades?
Yeah, exactly.
Is he playing any instruments? If he does it, like, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be a little more... I'm going to be a fun parent. I know definitely fun parent. But I'm definitely going to be more strict on some things, too.
Yeah, like, just in terms of disciplining, in a way. But you're ahead of the game, bro. Like, you're thinking about this at the age of 21. What the fuck? Folks, you see this? This right here, this guy right here, literally just ahead of his time, man. Ahead of his time. And you're only 21, bro. You got like a long way too.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
And that's the thing, like in the moment, like when I was doing all these things, like when I worked at the hospital,
Yeah.
or when I started working at the lab or anything like that, and I did like volunteer work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never really felt like I was doing a lot in the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like when I was revising my resume after college, I was looking at it and I had to like cut things down and everything. And I was like, wow, I did not realize that I did all this stuff.
Yeah, because you're just doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And when you get a chance to take a step back and you start looking at the things that you do and you start listing them, you start realizing, whoa, I did not know I was doing this much achieving.
Yeah.
And they're not even like, they're just like the littlest things.
Yeah.
Littlest things, but they actually become a big part of your resume. And a lot of people will look at that. A lot of big folks like CEOs or managers, they look at that because they see that you have these skill sets and you have the knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, like I feel like the grades later down the road don't become really impactful unless you're trying
That's
to.
what I've heard.
Yeah, like they don't really, like from my experience, they don't really become impactful unless you're like going into like I don't know, if you're doing your masters for like higher up like levels, like a again a manager or a CEO. Yeah. Okay, that might be a different story because you're doing it for your masters. Like you're trying to get good grades to get into the master's school. But otherwise, like it's more so like again your work, like what you do, your actions,
your
work experience, how you think and how you motivate yourself and how you lead. That's what kind of sets you out there from everyone else, is what you do. You know what I mean? Because looking at your stuff again, it starts from your days in middle school, high school. Again, when you're telling me you were an athlete for 4 different sports, I said, what the fuck? I don't even think I did anything. Actually, no, I started breakdancing. But that's not even that's a sport, but it's not even like I'm
a drunk dancer.
Oh, you're a drunk dancer? Oh, I feel like you can like low key do some like crazy like headstands or handstands.
I mean, I could do a handstand underwater. Okay. That's about it.
That works. That works. But otherwise though, like your accolades from high school to now, and mind you, you're only 21, so this is literally, I want to say freshman years. This is 7 years. Like 7 years from age 14 to 21, you were doing all this. And how are your grades? Were your grades your grades were like?
My grades are good, and I got a scholarship to see and all.
Oh,
so
showing it off, I see. Showing,
but I don't know. I feel like my scholarship was from my activities though.
It doesn't matter. Like you probably had a solid GPA. I don't know what your GPA is, but it's probably like.
I don't even remember my high school GPA. I know my because college is when. Well, this is funny actually. In high school, I did not know what a GPA was. I just knew I just had to get good grades, right? So I don't know my high school GPA. I literally just found out what GPA was when I started college, and that's when I started paying attention to it. Because that's when I really took school seriously.
Oh,
that's why.
Man, wait. So then, how the hell? Like, but in senior hall, don't they ask for a GPA? Like,
they just asked me for my SAT.
Oh, okay. Because in my head, I'm like, wait, when they ask you for a GPA and you're like, I don't know what this is, but here you go. Like, you don't even know what this is, but you're doing well.
They have my transcript, and then they have my SAT. Because I killed my SAT. Oh, yeah. I had a tutor for like 3 months.
Good looks. Hey, you always got to come prepared.
Yep.
I even had, I took a class on SAT. I still didn't even do well. I had like what was my SAT? I think it wasn't even that great. It was like a 1420, bro.
It wasn't even that great.
It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where like I know I did bad in English, like because there was math SAT and then there was an English SAT. Math, I actually love math.
In high school, I was good at math.
Yeah, you're good at math. I love math. It was like my proficiency it was at math, but English. I speak English. I don't know how I failed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I never understood that. Like, I was gonna tell you that before when we were talking about the writing. Like, I never realized until college that I was such a good writer, because when I would hand in my writing assignments in middle school and high school, they would have marks all over them.
good.
And then for some reason in college, all of a sudden it was like I never got anything below a 95. And I don't know what changed because I don't feel like I changed anything about my writing, but maybe subconsciously I did.
Maybe you did your English based off your feelings.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe when you felt it, hear he. I will be excellent with my grammar in English.
Yeah.
And then that's how it all started. I'm just kidding. I just made that shit up, bro. But I also, because to conclude all this, dude, I just want to say thank you for coming. Honestly, like the whole like topic with motivation and work ethic is one of those things where, I wanted to talk to you about just because, in this day and age, it's like technology has been advancing.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people like have been just like kind of like looking at social media, like chilling on their phones and stuff like that. And I know because in your generation, everyone has a cell phone. Yeah. Everyone has a MacBook, So it's kind of hard to stay away from it, you know what I mean? Because that's where all the knowledge, the news is, you know what I mean? And for you to come on here and at least knowing like in this generation, like it's not many people are like just staying on social media like in the Gen Z era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're one of the few that are like social media is there, but I'm gonna continue like doing what I gotta do to work on my craft and to become like the best that I can be. You know what I mean? And the cool thing about it is like you still have a long way to go, and I can't imagine what you're gonna be at the age of 30. I'm probably gonna be like, yo, Arthur, you can hook me up like $100 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, hook it up, brother. You know what I'm saying? But that I can't imagine. Like, I know you have a bright like future going for yourself.
Thank you.
That
means a lot to me.
Of course, that's a wholehearted like my prediction of what's gonna be. But whatever you're gonna be, I think you wanted to be in ortho, right?
Yeah, I wanted to do ortho or OBGYN. Yeah. So still deciding. Mm-hmm. Who knows? I might come out something completely different,
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. But you have the right mentality. Again, you have that motivation. You have the work ethic. Now it just comes down to like the decision time, like for your life, of your purpose. So again, thank you for coming on the show, my guy.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Of course. And thank you guys for watching episode 11, and stay tuned for episode 12. My guy. Good job, man. Good job, yo.
Have me back. Season 3.